In the last class, we have seen the voltage sag magnitude uh, magnitude calculation based on the influence of the fault location. Okay. Yeah. And then this critical distance of a voltage sag magnitude, especially this particular critical distance. Okay. What will be the critical distance for a voltage sag magnitude? I mean, this is very much useful uh, to connect an equipment from the PCSC in order to give a satisfactory performance. It means that as we have seen, like the voltage sag magnitude is very well dependent on the distance of the fault location from point of common coupling PCSC, 10 kilometers. Right. This is the voltage sag magnitude. This is the voltage sag voltage at PCC. You can say that voltage magnitude at PCC. Okay, per unit wavelength. We have seen that one of the problem where depending on the fault location from the PCC, the voltage sag magnitude effect is going to decrease when the fault location is far away from the point of common coupling. Okay, this is the one per unit. This kind of diagrams we are seeing. Yeah. What about the critical distance? The critical distance, suppose a particular an equipment, I mean, this is a ZS source impedance, and this is about the PCC, and there is a line. This critical distance is very much essential for any kind of an equipment. Each individual equipment is having a certain threshold value. Each individual equipment is having certain threshold value of a voltage to perform satisfactorily. Generally, they mention it as, for any kind of an equipment, in general, they mention it as 10 plus or minus 10% of the nominal voltage Okay. In that case, the 10% is going to come over here. 10% maybe likely it is going to come here. Okay. In that case, we can able to find out the distance. The distance is for this 0.9 per unit. 0.9 per unit. It is minus of 10% of the nominal value of 1 per unit. For this is the critical distance. Okay. This is the critical distance, L critical. Beyond that, if you are able to connect an equipment maybe less than the critical value, in that case, the equipment may not be the satisfactory. So for each individual equipment, based upon this particular threshold values of its performance, of its equipment performance, they have certain values. Suppose an equipment can withstand of plus or minus 20% also, 20% of En. In that case, maybe it goes to over here, the 0.8 over here. In that case, the critical distance is going to come. This is the critical distance for an equipment B also. Maybe this is of A, this is of an equipment of B. Okay. This critical distance for a voltage surge magnitude is always dependent upon the equipment specified voltage limits. Okay. In order to find out if you know the equipment of a nominal voltage, maybe it's of 0.7 per unit. 0.7 per unit, it can able to withstand the PCC voltage of 0.7 per unit. Whichever it has been connected an equipment, it gives a satisfactory performance. Okay. In that case, to find out the critical distance, we can just find out we know the VPCC is equal to the fault impedance per unit kilometer by L by ZS bar plus ZF bar, it's a complex quantity only, into the L. We can find out the critical distance, L critical. We have only one unknown. We have only one unknown over here also. Okay, then we can find out what must be the critical value for a voltage at a PCC of 0.7. We know that the fault impedance per unit kilometer and then the source impedance. Okay, in that case we can find out the critical distance. Okay, I mean this critical distance is all depends upon what should be the threshold values of an equipment which gives a satisfactory performance. Okay, this way the critical distance is very useful if at all if you want to connect an equipment to give a satisfactory performance even under the even under the fault conditions also, even under the fault conditions. Okay. Yeah. Next is the voltage surge magnitude. How does it depends upon the fault level MVS? Fault level MVS. Fault level MVS. This is we have seen with respect to the fault level MVA in earlier class of this particular problem. Just a minute. Yeah, here we have seen it. But this is the short circuit MVA. This is about the short circuit MVA. Sorry, this is about the source MVA also. This is about the source MVA. For the different source of MVA, we have seen like how does it is going to influence on the point of common coupling voltage during the fault also. During the fault. Now we try to see that how does it depends upon the fault level MVA. How does it depends upon the fault level MVA? It depends upon the fault level. For that, what we will consider it as we'll try to consider a system is of the different voltage level ratings. One is the 400 kV line, and we have a transformer. We're not considering very much of the transformer impedance at this point. Okay. Now this is a line of 132 kV line, and you have a transformer, and this is connected to the 33 kV line, and you have a transformer, and this is connected to the 11 kV line, and then it is connected to 400 volts line. Okay, at a 400 volts, at 400 volts, we have an MVA which is of a rating of 20 MVA. 20 MVA. No, there is another lines which can share it the power also. Okay, maybe at this particular point 11 kV, maybe it is going to divert to the other kind of a transformer over here. So the other feeders also. But generally, what maybe at 11 kV line we have an MVA of around 200 MVA. 200 MVA. But the remaining 1 MVA, 180 MVA is going to transfer to the other lines. Okay, this is about 20 MVA is going to transfer over here. Okay, now at this particular point, which has been connected is 20 MVA. At 11 kV, it is 200 MVA. Maybe there is some other lines which has been, the power has been transferred to the other lines also. At 33 kV line, the MVA rating at 33 kV line is around 900 MVA. At 132 kV line, the MVA is 3000 MVA. At 400 kV line, the power rating is around 17,000 MVA. Okay. Yeah. One thing is at this particular point of a 400 kV. Okay, we'll go this way. Okay, the fault has occurred at this particular point. At this particular point, the fault has been occurred. Okay. Now at this moment, if the fault has been occurred at 400 volts, in that case, we are interested in finding out the voltage at 11 kV line and the voltage at 33 kV line, and then the voltage at 132 kV line, and then voltage at 400 kV line. This is the what which we are going to look into that. Yeah. Now, yeah, we know one of the basic equation is the VSAC voltage or the PCC voltage. Okay, we are going to find out the PCC voltage only, but during the SAC condition, SAC voltage during the SAC condition, PCC voltage during the SAC, okay, or during the fault also. In this case, we have seen one of the equation as ZF by ZS plus ZF also, ZF. Yeah, ZF also. We can make out this particular equation as 1 minus of ZS by ZS plus ZF also. Okay, this is about the this way also we can write down the equation also. Okay. Now here this particular one thing is we need to make out yeah, the fault has been occurred at 20 MVA. The fault has been occurred at 20 MVA. Okay. Now this becomes as when the fault has been occurred at 400 volts line. This is the total amount of the power which is can go to the fault is around 20 MVA, around 20 MVA. Now this case, we can make out as the fault level MVA, which is equal to V square. We are making out this entire line. In this case, V square by ZS plus ZF. Okay, ZF condition. Okay, we have a source impedance as well as fault impedance. Now, this particular again at 11 kV line, which we will be considering it as the source MVA. This is at the MVA of 20 MVA, which we considering it as the fault level MVA, and the 11 kV line, which we are being considering as the source MVA. Now the source MVA, which is equal to V square by ZS. This V is with respect to the nominal voltage only, with respect to the nominal voltage Pn. Now you can substitute these equations, this equation 1, this equation 2 over this particular equation. Okay. Now the PCC voltage, see, when the fault has been occurred at 20 MVA line, the PC at 400 volts, the PCC which we are going to consider it was at 11 kV line, at 11 kV line. Then what we get was the PCC voltage is equal to 1 minus of, we can make out this one as Vn square by SS by, and we are replacing ZS plus ZF as Vn square by SFL. One thing is this one, ZS is equal to source MVA is equal to Vn square by S, whereas this as ZS plus ZF is equal to Vn square by SFL. This is the substitution. Now what we get was the PCC voltage. PCC voltage is equal to 1 minus of SFL, the fault level MVA, by the source MVA. Okay. Now taking this equation to derive the source MVA, to derive the point of common coupling voltage. Okay. Now see the fault point. This is the fault point. Fault point is at 400 volts. Now what we get at 11 kV voltage is, we have a 1 minus of the fault level MVA at 400 volts is 20 MVA by, at 11 kV line the source MVA is 1 by 200. Now what we get was, we get around here, it is maybe when you make out this percentage, we get as 1 minus of 0.1, we'll be getting as 90%. 90% or 0.9. We get around 0.9, and this is voltage at 11 kV line, it is 90%. Whereas at a 400 volts, if you are measuring the voltage, it will be a dead short also. It will be a dead short, and the voltage, if you are measuring the voltage, if the fault has been occurred at 400 high, if you are measuring the voltage, the voltage becomes 0 volts only. Now this here we will be getting as 90 MVA, 90%. The same thing, if you consider at point of common coupling, we are going to find out the voltage at 33 kV line. In that case, what we get was we get is 1 minus 20 by the source MVH is going to turn up as a 9,900. Then the voltage is going to come as a 98 percentage, because the MVA level rating at 33 kV line is much higher than the MVA at 11 kV line. The similar thing, if you go for a 132 kV line, the fault level MVA is 20 MVA and the source MVA at 132 kV line is around 3000. In that case, we will be getting as a 99 percentage. If you take about 400 kV, if you are measuring the voltage at 400 kV line and the fault is occurred at 400 volts, this is a fault point. In that case, what we get is it is 1 minus 20 by 17,000. We get over here it is the 100 percentage. With this, you can understand, like, when you go and the fault has been occurred at 900 kV line, at 900, this is the fault at 900 400 volts. In that case, the voltage magnitude at 11 kV lines, at 33 kV lines is 98 percentage, at 132 kV line is 99 percentage, at 400 kV is 100 percentage. The point is here, when the fault level is occurred at a lower system or lower voltage level, the impact at the transmission level is very, very less also. Is very, very less. We'll see, we'll try to consider the fault at a 33 kV line. The fault at 33 kV line. Then at 11 kV it is obviously 0. At 33 kV line it is also a 0. It is also, sorry, it will be, no, we need to consider, if it is 33 kV, then at the 33 kV is also 0. Now what we try to consider was, we try to consider the fault location is at 11 kV. Initially we tried to see that the fault location at 11 kV line. The fault has been occurred at 11 kV line. Now this is 0 volts. Then at 400 volts also it is 0. Now at 11 kV lines, what we get it is 1 minus of the fault has been occurred at 11 kV. We are going to measure the 33 kV bus. We are measuring the voltage. At 11 kV, the MVA is 200 MVA. Is 200 MVA by the source MVA becomes a 900. The voltage becomes a 78 percentage. Now we are going to measure at 132 kV volts minus of this is 200 by 3000, which is equal to 93 percentage. And at 400 kV line, it is 1 minus of 200 by the 17,000. We get around 99 percentage. Okay. Now with this, it is understood like the impact at higher voltage level is very less. One thing is, when you compare with respect to the 1700 MVA, 17,000 MVA, the fault level MVA is very much a lesser percentage of sharing it also. It is a, see, that's what we are going to get as 200 minus of 17,000 of 1 minus 8. The percentage is a 1 percentage alone. We are going to get the dropout also. Okay. Because of that reason, the voltage effect, if there is a fault occurred at a lower voltages, it doesn't have any kind of an impact also. Okay, this equation, maybe this particular equation is for understanding only, it has been written in this way. Okay, there is some approximation has been carried out in deriving this particular equation. Okay, this is a approximated equation also. Don't think like this is the equation because is it correct also, because the fault level MVA we have been considered ZS also. When we are considering the fault level MVA, again we have been considering the source MVA as SS, and then the S has been come over here. It is the equation which we have been derived. This equation is the approximated equation also. Okay, yeah. With this, we can understand like the fault level MVA, how does it is influencing with respect to the source MVA also, with respect to the source MVA, and with respect to the bus voltages also. Even yeah, with respect to the source MVA also. If the source MVA is very much higher, that's what, right? If the fault impedance is very much higher also, if you consider the fault level impedance is very much higher also, even in that case, what we had observed was we observed like the fault current is very less also. If the fault impedance is very much higher, then the fault current is also very much lower also. Okay, this about how does the voltage sag magnitude is going to depend upon the fault level MVA. Okay, we try to see one more case. Yeah, this is a problem where your induction motor is connected, and we have a transformer which is of ZT, which has been connected. Okay, and this is a point of common coupling. It's a PCC, and we have a source. Okay, we have a source. Yeah. In this problem, what we are going to derive is this particular expression. Okay, this particular expression, that is voltage at PCC. Voltage at PCC we need to find out during the starting of this induction motor. During the starting of this induction motor. Okay. What they have given is, this is the ZS is the source impedance at a PCC, whereas Zm is the motor impedance during during run up. This is during run up, especially Zm is the motor impedance during run up, where beta is the ratio between the starting current and the nominal current. Okay, beta is the ratio of a starting current and a nominal current. A nominal current. Whereas ZT is the transformer impedance. ZT is the transformer impedance. Yes. This is yes is the short circuit power of the source. SM is the rated power, and ST is the transformer rating with the 1:1 ratio. With a 1:1 ratio. Whereas zeta is the per unit impedance of the transformer. The per unit impedance of the transformer. One thing, I just try to make out one of the current, maybe during the normal current also. IN is equal to something of, this is a nominal current. Okay, the Vs by Zs plus Zt plus Zd. Okay, Zt plus Zm also. This is a nominal current. How does it look like? If you want to find out the PCC voltage during the normal operation, or else what they have mentioned, it is during the run up. during the run-up. At the PCC voltage is equal to Vs minus of the nominal current into Zs. What we get the voltage at the PCC during the normal operation, we get as Zt plus Zm by Zs plus Zt plus Zm. This is the equation. Okay, now we need to make out this. This is the PCC voltage during a running condition of a motor. Okay, motor. Now, when you look into this particular equation, this particular equation has been expressed in terms of Sm, the motor rating, and in terms of the transformer rating, and in terms of the source MVA. We can try to make out this particular equation also. How we can make out this particular equation is we try to express with respect to the nominal voltage. We try to express this particular equation with respect to the nominal voltage. How we can make out this particular equation is, we know that Zs source MVA is equal to Vn square, the nominal voltage, by the Zs. Okay. What about Zt? We'll go to the we'll go to Zt also. Zt is equal to, what we get was the Vn square by, sorry, here I have written wrongly over here. Vn square, okay, the source MVA. Z is equal to the transformer reactance impedance is nothing but Vn square by St also. But here what they have given is epsilon naught is the per unit impedance of the transformer. Epsilon naught is the per unit impedance. This is actually whatever we get here, the transformer a base impedance. Then we have to convert the per unit impedance of Zt. I mean, if you want to find out the transformer impedance, what we can do was epsilon naught of Vn square by St. This is an equation. Okay. Now we need to find out the motor here. See, this is the conditions which are running conditions, but we are interested in finding out the PCC voltage during starting of an induction motor. Okay, whatever the things which we try to find out just now, excess is obviously during the starting of the induction motor or during the running condition, the source impedance is not going to change anything also. Whereas the transformer impedance is not going to change with respect to whether it is an induction motor is running or whether it is the starting condition. Okay, only the thing is, like, the motor impedance Zm is going to change during the starting and during the running conditions. As we know that during the starting of an induction motor, you know that the magnetizing current, is very much higher than the nominal current. Okay, as you all know that during the starting of the induction motor, the magnetizing current is much more higher than the running condition. In that case, the motor impedance during the starting, the motor impedance, the motor impedance, the motor impedance, just a minute. The motor impedance during starting is not equal to the motor impedance during a running condition, during running conditions. Okay. Now, whatever the equation which we have written the PCC voltage, this is the equation which is of at a running condition of a motor. So this motor impedance we need to find out if you want to find out the PCC voltage during the starting of an induction motor. Then the motor impedance, whatever it is there, which we need to find out motor impedance during the starting condition. Is that ZM running condition, which we are going to get out as maybe the Vn nominal voltage, Vn square by the motor rating. The motor running condition. Now here, what in the question, what has been given is, yeah, this is the beta is the ratio of the starting current and the nominal current. This is what we have written. This beta is the starting current. Sorry, beta is equal to the ratio of starting current to the nominal current of the motor. Nominal current of motor. This is starting current of the motor. Okay. Yeah. This is the impedance, which is find it out as Vn square by M. Now we can find out what is the Zm during the running condition. Sorry, during the starting condition. Starting conditions. Okay. See, now it goes as we know that Zm starting is very much lower than the motor at a running condition. Okay, motor at running condition. Then the starting current, which is equal to beta times of a motor running condition. Okay, motor condition. Then what we can find out was the impedance Zm, because the starting current is the beta times of the motor current. So what we need to get was we have to Zm at a running condition by the beta. Okay, in that case we will be getting the starting current is the beta times of the running condition of the current, beta times of the running condition of the current only. Okay, now what we get was the Zm starting condition is equal to Vn square by beta times of Sm. Okay. Now if you have a beta, then obviously we'll be having the starting current, which is equal to beta times of the nominal motor at running conditions. Now what we get was, we get over here the equations, which is Zm at starting condition is equal to Vn square by beta times of Sm. Now these equations, if you substitute in this particular, where is that expression? This expression will be getting out as the starting current also. Okay, starting current. We can straight away substitute this PCC voltage, the PCC voltage. Yeah. We know that the PCC voltage is equal to Zs plus Zt plus Zm by Zs plus Zt plus Zm. We are interested in PCC voltage at starting of the induction motor, at starting of induction motor, that is equal to, this is equal to Vsag, which is equal to Zt as what we got, Zt zeta times of Vn square by St plus Vn square by beta times of Sm by Hs as a Vn square by Ss plus Zt as epsilon naught of Vn square by St plus Vn square by beta times of Sm. Now what if you do the simplification, what we get as epsilon naught of beta times of Sm plus St by, here it is, beta times of Sm St plus epsilon naught and then beta times of Sm plus we get Ss plus St, and actually in the we get an LCM is beta times of STSM. Here also beta times of SS, ST and SM also. So we get over here SS. This is the PCC voltage. This is the PCC voltage during starting of an induction motor, Okay. This is the expression what we got over here. It is. I mean, if you see this expression in the earlier question also, where is that question? Yeah, this particular question also you can see over here. Yeah, this is the expression which we have seen the just a minute. I'll make out this another. Yeah. I mean, you can straight away see this equation also. There is nothing to move over here also. Yeah. This is expression of epsilon naught of zeta b times of Sm plus St whole into Ss by beta times of Sm St plus epsilon naught of beta Ss Sm plus Ss St. You can look into this particular equation also. It's almost all looks like the same. Yeah. Here is epsilon naught of beta times of Sm St plus Ss. Here it is beta times of St Sm plus B SMSS and SSST also. The same equation which we got it also. Okay, this particular equation. Okay, I mean here you need to validate the. You can work out yourself also. If you have a ST, if you have a transformer in between also. I mean there is. If you see the diagram, how does it looks like? Is yeah. I mean see. If it doesn't have the ST, this transformer, what will be the PCC voltage? Okay, you need to validate yourself, like assume a certain data, and obviously when you have a ZT, how does this PCC voltage influence during the starting of an induction motor? Okay, during the starting of the induction motor, you need to study without a transformer and with the transformer. I mean, it is very well a straightforward question, straightforward only. Here, when you look into this particular equation itself, only we can understand like the induction motor starting with XT during the starting. This impedance is also getting the influence to minimize the starting current also. If it doesn't have this XT over here, then obviously your impedance is much lower also. In that case, the current during the starting is very much higher also. Okay, this about like the induction motor starting is with a dedicated transformer in order to uh, have the less impact of the a sensitive load. Here maybe if it is a sensitive load which has been connected, in that case the impact of the point of the voltage at the PCC is very less impact when you have the transformer uh, uh, with just starting the induction motor with this transformer. Okay, it's about the voltage side magnitude derivation during the starting of an induction motor with the transformer. This particular unit, okay, this particular unit, these are the content of the syllabus. Okay, we have tried to derive this critical distance of a voltage side magnitude, and especially, yeah, this transformer we have seen directly the voltage side magnitude with the transformer and with during the starting of the induction motor, and then the fault level MVS. And this particular cross section of the conductor, obviously, if the cross section of the conductor of the resistance is R is equal to rho L by A, how does the cross section of the area of the conductor is influencing the resistance also? I mean, it is not required to discuss very elaboratively also. We are seeing like voltage sag magnitude due to the fault also. Okay, voltage sags due to transformers, and then the classification of the voltage sags and the causes of the phase angle jumps in the transformer also. Okay, this is a complete unit. Okay, up to this unit, you will be having the mid examination. Okay, to this unit, you will be having the mid examination. Do you have this copy of the textbook? Anyone? The soft copy of the textbook, this textbook, do you have?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. I mean, I'll try to send the snapshots of the test book also. I mean, please preserve to yourself. Don't keep it in a public media also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Uh, I mean, exams, mid exams. When are the mid exam of power quality?
Ninth.
Is it final or is there any change in the time in the dates? No, actually, one of the PhD caller is he's having some clash with the subjects also. Maybe he requested the associate dean examination. Most probably there may be a change in the examination date also. Okay, but up to these units, you have studied up to first and second unit. You might have studied also. Mostly, you need to study about this particular unit alone. Okay, voltage quality. Do you have any other questions or any doubts? Okay. Okay then. Huh? Thank you.